Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So today, May 28th, 2025, we get Sailing Pole 1, and this is going to be talking about area expansion, quests, and hybrid training methods. They want to start this off by pretty much saying that they're exploring concepts, and this is trying to green light all of them now. That they won't all be available at launch, and the seas are treacherous. As always, your input helps to shape our priorities, so be sure to let us know which concepts that you like the look of. So we've actually got the sailing pole roadmap now. So pole 1 topics are areas, quests, and activities. Which is very cool. As you can see, the Great Conch Island, the Tortugan quests, small scale sailing related quests, and deep sea trawling activity. In pole 2 topics, we have skilling, content, and resources. So woodcutting, new trees and logs, mining, and new rocks and ores, fishing, new method, and fish. Hunting, new method and creatures, farming, new patch and produce, thieving, new NPCs, chests and stalls, construction, we've got new planks and ship parts, smithing, new ship weaponry and ammo, crafting, new fabrics and nets, fletching, new ranged weapons, cooking, we've got new meats and foods, and herblore, new ingredients and potions. Lots of new content coming into the game, obviously, with sailing. And for pole 3 topics, combat content and rewards. So new slayer tasks and creatures, new bosses, new unique drops, sailing pet and skill cape. So this one looks like there will be a skilling pet for it, which is very interesting. Like, what is it going to be? A little boat, like, or maybe some fish? Like, I want to see the pet, and any extra meta impacting content. Okay, so up first right here is the Great Conch. So sailors venturing south into the unquiet ocean may discover the Great Conch as an island that's home to turtle-like folk called Tortugans. The island will contain a mixture of new content and rewards that will be pulled separately. For now, here's a quick overview of what you might expect. Now, I believe, yes, this is the island that we were able to sail up of in the beta, or alpha. I think it was the beta, right? We were able to sail up to here, and we couldn't actually go on the island, but this was a big, massive island. So this is going to be all of the new stuff that will be here. So a host of existing woodcutting trees, so like regular trees, and as well as the new Jatoba and Champor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these right, but new trees that will expand uses to fire making and fletching. So of course, yeah, you can train all 3 of these new skills. Very cool. And looks like there are trees spread out throughout the island, of course, in different areas. Nice. And additional mining, hunter, and fishing spots, plus a blue crab hunting. That's new, of course. Using hinged lid traps, offering a new crab meat that will be used with cooking and herblore. Very nice. And it looks like we'll also have maybe other traditional hunting, mining, fishing. Cool. And an extra Calquat farming patch. Very cool. I think there's only one in the game right now, so the more the merrier. I was actually just talking about how much I like farming Calquats because they have good experience. So it is nice that there will be an extra one. Also submerged just off the coast, you'll find a coral nursery where you can farm coral. So it looks like it is a new underwater farming activity. So now we'll have seaweed and coral. A useful resource for making new items out of. All right, so I'm a huge fan of this island. This is just one of the many islands, and look at all the content on it. Alright, so we get sort of like a first look of what this island will look like actually on it, rather than just from the coastline. So, woodcutting, fire making, and fletching. So, on the Great Conch, you'll find familiar trees like teak, mahogany, and yew. as well as new trees found in the Sacred Grove. So where is the Sacred Grove? I think it showed it on this map up here. So it looks like the Sacred Grove is sort of like in the middle area here. That's where the new trees will be. I don't see any bank, but there will probably be a bank, right? So this is an area of great importance to the Tortugans, and they're not just letting any noob in. You'll have to prove yourself and get acquainted with their ways of life first. Only players who have who take the time to befriend the Tortugans will be rewarded with access. So it looks like, I'm assuming you'll have to complete a quest or something like that in order to get access to the new trees. So new trees means new logs, subject to polling, of course. This will be covered in our next poll blog, along with our plans for how these resources will be used and how they'll impact the wider game. So for now, we'll share that the Jatoba logs will mostly be used within the Tortugan quest line, while the Champor logs will have a wider impact on fire making, fletching, and shipbuilding. I mean, if you're adding a whole new tree, this is my personal opinion, into the game, don't just make it for a quest. Let it have other uses in the game too, even for ship upgrades, fletching, whatever, right? But yeah, these are going to be the two new ones, and this is going to be the one that I guess more will be used throughout the game. I like how it goes so in detail, like showing like what the actual branch looks like. God. So mining, hunter, and fishing. So looking to shake up your skilling, the Great Conch will also have mining, fishing, and hunter spots spread across the land. Plus, it's got some great views of the ocean. Very relaxing. We saw how much you liked bank crabs, so we'll do you one better. On the Great Conch, we're proposing a new hunter training method, crab hunting. This is a brand new training method which involves catching crabs using hinged lid traps. Once caught, you can use a knife on these creatures to obtain meat for cooking and herb lore. Since all of this is subject to polling, keep an eye out for it in our next poll blog, where we'll be taking your feedback and suggestions. I mean, what's it hurting? A new hunting method? Great. Okay, so farming. Take your farming runs one step farther. The Great Conch will have an additional Calquat patch, as well as a brand new farming method. I just kind of realized now, by like 2030 or something, we're going to have so many new farming patches in the game that a farm run is going to take, what, 2 hours to complete? It's kind of crazy, but hey, the more stuff in the game, obviously, the better. So coral farming, coral nurseries are new farming patches where coral fragments can be propagated until they mature. Unlike normal patches, these nurseries are found in the sea. During refinement, we also called this a hybrid training method, but since we think that it makes sense for it to sit with farming only, as you're not directly using a boat for this activity. I mean, we already have the seaweed farming, and that doesn't require sailing. I like this picture right here, obviously. It looks like we're going to be using the new logs or whatever to make the frame for this. It looks like it is a 2x2. And then, once again, you'll need to wait for our skilling content and resources poll blog for farther details. This looks very cool, too, where on the island here, you just go in this little patch underwater. You make these 3 frames or whatever, and then you can start farming underwater. In addition to its wealth of skilling content, the Great Conch will also feature various shops, amenities, and new creatures. So, what do you say? Yeah, add this island to the game. So, up next here, we have the new Tortugan quests. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Tortugan, Tortugan, I don't fucking know, man. So anyways, the Tortugans are a humble folk living close to nature, making their own tools and homes, while utilizing both the land and the sea in their everyday lives. So the Tortugan quests are a set of new quests that take you on a journey to befriend the Tortugans while helping them deal with various threats and challenges along the way. So this looks like it is an experienced quest, 3 stars. This is called the Troubled Tortugans. So the first quest will focus on the player meeting an injured guy called Flupa and introducing the wider Tortugan race and their dangerous enemies, the Griffins. So it looks like these turtle guys are trying to fight the Griffins off, and this one's even picked one poor guy up. So the next one here, the Red Reef, this one will be 3-star difficulty experienced as well. So the second quest focuses on the player helping Flupa overcome her injury whilst also investigating a potential new threat to the turtle folk. Cool. So it looks like there's only 2 new quests. I mean, it's just one island, right? Yeah, I mean, this sounds pretty cool, to be honest. Might as well add these into the game. I know some people don't like quests, but come on. So immerse yourself quite literally in a brand new storyline where you help the turtles combat a mysterious threat. So the Tortugans have a peaceful society where everyone is expected to contribute using their special skills as a fisherman, a scouter, a warrior, a gatherer, or a healer. In the course of the quests written by Mods Ed and Ellinia, you'll earn your own place in their society and help them fight back against their greatest enemy yet. So this is actually, like they said, a new race in RuneScape. You know how there's like elves and then there's humans and like a bunch of other stuff, right? So these are new, I believe, right? I don't think we've got these turtle guys in the game. As you can see from the picture right here, this is a low rank guard, and the way that they look in game is very cool. I don't know how tall they're going to be, say, compared to a human, but I like their big shell on the back. Very cool design. So it looks like we've actually got some of the quest rewards. So this is the very first one right here, the Troubled guys. So pretty much you will finish this quest. So it's an experience level quest, and you will need to do the Pandemonium in order to, I think that's the very first sailing quest, right? You'll need 51 Slayer, 48 Construction, 45 Sailing, Hunter, 40 Woodcutting, and 34 Crafting. So it looks like you will have to grind out 45 Sailing. You'll get 1 quest point, 10,000 Sailing, 8,000 Slayer XP, and access to the Great Conch. So you actually need to do this quest in order to get the island. So yeah, we'll be rushing that 45 Sailing, probably day 1. And then the Red Reef will have a more of an experienced one. You will need to obviously complete the first quest, the Troubled, and then you will need 52 Sailing and 48 Smithing. So yeah, I'm going to try and do both of these quests probably the first day. I don't know how long it might take to get 52 Sailing, but 2 quest points, 15k Sailing XP, 5k Smithing XP, and access to the new tree resources. I knew to, befriend them, you would have to do a quest. So yeah, these 2 quests and you have access to the full island. Okay, so up next, it looks like we have small islands. So if you took part in the Sailing Alpha, you might have noticed several small islands scattered throughout the ocean. Some of these you may have visited, like the Pandemonium, while others are brand new and waiting to be explored. When you're not on land, it can easily feel like you're being swallowed up by endless blue tiles. To me, I remember it just felt like Minecraft when you're in a big ass ocean just sailing and you can't see anything. That's kind of what it felt like to me, and that's what they mean by this. So in our early playtesting sessions with NDA players, we noticed that without any useful landmarks for navigation, players could easily get lost. Having more small islands instead of a few larger ones doesn't just solve this problem, it helps make the ocean feel more alive. So more islands will also support gradual progression from level 1 to 99, rather than giving you a massive island at level 30 and then having to wait for level 60. I completely agree with this. We do want big islands though, come on, but we should have small ones spread out, of course, as well. So during the sailing alpha, we hadn't yet balanced this content, so those of you who played it may have visited islands at lower sailing levels than intended. Yeah, I was gonna say there was that one that you went into and there was a big dungeon with a bunch of creatures. I'm assuming that will have a higher sailing level, right? Maybe not. Be assured that on launch, all islands will have a proper balance pass to ensure their content is level appropriate. And yeah, I don't know why it's showing a couple pictures of different islands right here. Smaller islands with different types of content. Very cool. Look at this little port. I'm trying to figure if it was this island. There was one that just, maybe it was this island. I'm not sure, where there was a big dungeon. The one good thing that they're saying here about these different islands is each island will have its own unique feel, the climate and the terrain, right up to the creatures that live there and the stories you can find, right? So new islands mean new quests, new creatures, new content, right? New PVM challenges, skilling opportunities, reward space. It's just crazy the amount of content that they can add with a brand new island, right? So it kind of gives them excuses to keep, you know, pumping stuff into the game, right? So this is actually very interesting right here. So that's why we're only pulling the activities and rewards available, not the islands themselves. So some people may be mad about this, but they are a core part of sailing and a critical part of bringing the ocean to life and opening up the sailing reward space. So we didn't pull Lumbridge, did we? Well, I don't know if anyone played the game, but I think you made Lumbridge before anyone played the game, right? I'm pretty sure that was one of the first towns that Paul said he made, I believe. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's very interesting that they won't be pulling the islands. Okay, so up here we have small quests, so islands and quests. So the ability to explore the ocean and see what's out there sits at the heart of sailing. As a result, you'll find a whole host of new islands scattered across the many oceans of Gielinor, just waiting to be found. So this is actually crazy. You'll see here in a second. We don't want to spoil the fun of discovering islands for yourself at this stage, so we won't be going into too much detail here, but rest assured that any significant activities or rewards to be introduced with them will still be covered in future blogs and polls. So, new map. Okay, so I can't actually zoom in that much, but as you can see, like, look at all these different islands across the regular map. When I zoom in, it just goes blurry, but yeah, look, islands are literally everywhere on the map. I mean, it's cool, but like, holy, I thought there'd be a lot more big ones, maybe like, say the size of, you know, Karamja or something, but it looks like there are a couple of big ones maybe, but a lot of small ones. So to go with the small islands, we'd like to add smaller, less impactful quests, much like the ones we recently introduced in Varlamore. So basically what they're saying is they want to add like these introductory type quests like the Pandemorium in the Sailing Alpha. And this won't be pulled because it doesn't really impact the greater story of the game. It's more of a first time user experience. So, however, making changes based on your feedback from the Sailing Alpha. For example, some of you didn't like to receive an XP for completing the quest, so they're changing it into lamps. I will never understand people that complain about stupid shit like this. Unless it's like defense XP for a peer, but like, I don't know, man. They're just so picky with everything. As for our other small quests, you can expect them to be similar to Sheep Shear or the Twisted Tales in difficulty. So they'll help integrate sailing with the rest of the game and will serve as a way to introduce players to tools like the current duck or spyglass rather than just buying them from an NPC. Why not, man? Like, especially if it's gonna be something like the Sheep Shear quest, give you like, what, 1 quest point or something like that, take 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, might as well add another 10-15 quests into the game to actually show players how to do something rather than just kind of expecting it, or you have to like look up a guide almost how to use it. I like this. Okay, so oceans, seas, and her hazardous waters. So you may have noticed that we mentioned oceans a couple of times now. Well, take a look at this. So it looks like it's going to be separated into different oceans, which is very interesting and cool. You know how like Karen its own place. Yeah, so like look at, you can see actually how big these oceans really are. Now, it's not all content, it is a lot of water, but like this is the entire Karen area, right? And look how big some of these places, like Sunset Ocean, right? The Eastern Ocean. I like how they're all separated into their own little regions, right? Maybe with different levels, different boats maybe needed to go into certain ones. I'm assuming like this one right here. The Adriant Ocean, you'll need a smaller boat, right? Because you have to go through a lot of islands and it's a lot closer to other parts of the game. But something like the Sunset Ocean, you may need a larger boat, or you could use a larger boat, for example, right? Very cool. I like how they're like little factions or whatever. So we transformed the previous monotones blue tiles into various different oceans. So these large areas are the seaborne equivalent of regions on the mainland, like Asgarnia. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, exactly, right? Wow, imagine like somebody doing like a sailing only account, or a league with sailing only. You have to pick 3 oceans, what the hell? And most likely exist for similar thematic reasons. Most of them will be available on launch, but some will be added afterwards. So at launch, we aim to have the Argent, Unquiet, Shrouded, Western, and Northern Oceans available. So not as many as you would think, right? With playable content capped at level 30, we'll do the maths for you. The playable area that launches with sailing will be massive, with plenty of room for future expansion. On that note, the Forgotten, Untamed, and Eastern Oceans will likely appear as post-launch sailing updates. We're approaching this rollout thoughtfully, ensuring we learn from previous experience and avoiding the introduction of large areas. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Make it slow, make it good. This is probably the biggest update that they will ever add into RuneScape. Old school anyways, right? So they gotta make this really good and, you know, do it little by little, not mess something up. Don't make some huge glitch or a huge bug that just screws it, you know? Yeah, this is really cool. So how they're saying different landmarks like Canifis or Karamja, this will be used for like sea charting and stuff like that. So you can sea chart in different areas. Very nice. So these levels bands are not rigged. So your boat won't grind to a halt once you reach the higher leveled ocean. You'll be able to access these seas, but there are various hazards which make your journey more difficult or even impossible. So yeah, that's kind of what I figured. You need different boats for different regions, of course, right? Makes sense. It's like that in real life. Okay, so the next one here is a new training method, deep sea trawling. So deep sea trawling is a brand new hybrid skilling method combining sailing and fishing, taking place out in the deep sea where you can catch new rare types of fish. So track down a shoal of fish, optionally with the help of a sonar orb facility. Optionally spread some special bait made from fish offcuts stored in the chum bucket facility to increase your fishing duration and catching effectiveness. So that's 2 new facilities. Navigate over a shoal and deploy your trawling net facility while keeping your ship aligned with the shoal as it moves. Alright, so gather fish in your net to receive both fishing and sailing XP. Optionally storing any caught fish in your cargo hold. Once the shoal is depleted, you can move on to finding a new shoal or returning to the port with your haul of fish. As you level up and venture into deeper parts of the sea, you'll encounter higher tiers of shoals that introduce more complex gameplay, new hazards to contend with, but also rare fish to catch. So I'm assuming there's going to be new ones, right? Some of the new fish to be introduced include giant krill, haddock, yellowfin, tuna, halibut, bluefin tuna, and marlin. The HP restored utility or special effects of these fish will be blogged and pulled separately, and is something we're eager to hear your ideas and feedback on. So there's not just 2 new types of fish, it looks like there is a ton. So during refinement, we've explored several hybrid training methods, including deep sea trawling, and then also mineral dredging, which is mining and sailing, coral farming, which is farming and sailing, which they kind of said that's only farming, and sea monster hunting, which is slayer and sailing. These were all received positively, so we picked one to flesh out properly before launch. You can expect to see more hybrid training methods in the future, but for now, please welcome deep sea trawling. So they're only going to have one at launch. That's kind of unfortunate. I feel like Slayer would be more engaging, or people would like it more, but I guess that's, if you're Max, you don't want to go fight a goblin on an island, right? I feel like that's kind of the content that they would release. So, I mean, the fishing one is pretty cool. New stuff for the game as well. You can see there is ropes, linen, hemp, cotton, the chum bucket. There is a lot of new stuff here, different facilities. Oh, I'm so excited for sailing, man. So this method combines sailing and fishing, allowing you to turn your boat into a useful tool to catch rare, new species of fish that don't exist on the coastline. So they're deeper in the ocean, obviously, right? This activity is group friendly, so you can bring your friends along too. What the hell? This is interesting. So you'll earn both sailing and fishing XP while collecting unique fish that can also have powerful effects. They might be cooked into powerful foods or used in herblore to craft new potions. As this blog exists as more of a Greenlight stage, the effects of any new fish will be pulled in our next Sailing Pole blog, which covers skilling content and resources. So deep sea trawling isn't intended to replace traditional fishing. Instead, it offers a meaningful alternative. By going deeper into the sea, you can get more interesting fish, and it should be a reasonable moneymaker too, right? To get started with deep sea trawling, players will equip their ship with a specialized trawling net facility. At least one player, either you or a crewmate, must operate the trawling equipment to catch fish while the boat follows a moving shoal across the ocean. Staying on top of the shoal and working as a team is key to gathering large hauls of fish. As you level up your sailing and fishing, you'll be able to upgrade your trawling gear and take on more challenging and rewarding shoals. Now, it's one of those things, right, where you can actually like hire crewmates, right? You don't have to have it to be another player, I believe, anyways. So we got the trawling net. So the trawling net is the core facility that unlocks access to deep sea trawling. Without it, you won't be able to gather fish at sea. As you progress, higher tier nets will become available. These advanced nets allow boats to reach deeper sea levels, where rarer and more rewarding shoals can be found. In addition to accessing deeper waters, upgraded nets will also increase the minimum quantity of fish obtained per successful catch, making investing in better facilities feel like a worthwhile use of your time. That's always good, isn't it? The image above shows that trawling nets are made out of rope, linen, hemp, and cotton. And later, 3 are new materials we'd like to introduce with sailing. Because I was going to say we don't have any of that in the game besides rope. Say it with us. More information about skilling, content, resources in the next sailing blog. Of course. Yeah, of course. Okay, so we have the chum bucket. The chum bucket is an additional facility that can help sustain shoals of fish for longer periods. So it holds and spreads bait into the water, which can reduce the rate at which a shoal disappears. In addition to extending shoal lifespan, spreading bait also increases the number of fish caught. So you must be locked into the chum bucket facility in order to use it, which is when you'll see the option to spread bait on the sailing side panel. If the NPC crewmate is assigned to the chum bucket, the captain will gain the capability to issue a command, to spread bait from anywhere on the boat. So each chum bucket will allow you to store up to 1,000 of each bait type. When 10 pieces of bait have successfully fed to a shovel, there is a % chance that the shovel will not deplete, allowing players to catch fish from it for a longer time. All players participating in catching from the shovel can contribute bait towards this, but once bait has been offered, the effect doesn't stack. Okay, so the spread bait feature will intelligently choose the best available bait for the current shovel, prioritizing the highest level bait that means shovel that it needs. Okay, so it will be beneficial to do it with other people, of course. You can get your NPC to kind of do it for you. I do like this. I hope you don't need to do it in big groups, but I hope like you can just do it with you and your crewmate, you know. I think that'd be better. And it looks like we have the sonar orb, if I'm even pronouncing that right. So the sonar orb is an additional facility for your boat, which can help you detect where shovels of fish are using sonar. This facility doesn't require locking in to use. You simply need to click on it. There are currently 2 tiers of sonar orbs. The first gives you a general direction, whereas the second gives you a hint arrow directly over the shovel. If you're too far away from your nearest shovel, neither orb will do anything. So it's just ways of basically finding the actual like fishing spot, right? So yeah, honestly not too bad at all. So they go over the gameplay loop. So you find a shovel using your eyes and ears and the orb. Prepare to fish, perhaps by loading your chum bucket with bait. Navigate on top of the shovel and deploy the trawling net and follow those fish, which is cool. You actually have to like engage a little bit, move around, get your crewmate to do stuff, right? When the shovel disappears or you're ready to stop, interact with the net to loot your catch. So you loot it all at once type thing, which is interesting. So special rules for iron players. So Iron Man cannot receive fish or cargo from other players. Obviously, I'm okay with that. I thought it was going to be like, they cannot do this activity. Group Ironman can share with their group's cargo hold. Okay, so yeah, I don't plan on doing this with other people anyways. I want to do it with me and my NPC. So bait and offcuts. We've often seen the sentiment that low-level skilling supplies have little use once you've leveled past them. True. It's especially true for fish. There's only so many sardines a person can stomach. Fair enough, right? As some fish can be cut into offcuts as a replacement for bait, but bait is so cheap that there's no reason to do so. So aerial fishing implemented a similar system, but it's contained to that one activity. So deep sea trawling will let you use all types of fish as bait, creating progression where you use low-level fish to catch higher-level ones. I like this actually a lot. I have so much like tuna in the bank, lower-level fish that I just don't know what to do with after, you know. So to accomplish this and streamline the system, we're removing fish chunks and rolling out 3 types of fish offcuts. So regular, fine, and premium. If you already have chunks in your bank, firstly, apologize to your banker. Then don't worry, they'll be converted to the appropriate type when sailing launches. So anywhere you currently use fish chunks or offcuts, you'll be able to use regular fish offcuts instead. Any fish can be cut into offcuts based on the tiers below, and premium offcuts are limited to the new fish introduced with sailing. So regular fish are from all the way from shrimp to literally the barbarian fish. And then the fine fish are sharks, sea turtles. Wow, okay. So it looks like might be best to do premium fish if you can get a good amount of it. Oh man, you don't want to be using your sharks and stuff, right? And it looks like the deep sea fish they show here as well. So giant krill and haddock will be regular. Yellowfin tuna and halibut will be fine. And marlin and bluefin tuna will be the premium fish offcuts. Okay, so shoals. As you progress into deeper parts of the sea, you'll encounter higher tiers of shoals that introduce more complex and rewarding gameplay. But be aware, the deeper out in sea you are, the more potential danger to your boat and crew. Imagine you could lose crew members, like crewmate 3 died. That would suck. So team coordination will become super important at these higher levels to successfully catch fish while defending your boat. Your ability to catch fish from shoals scales with your fishing level, so the higher fishing level will allow you to catch them more reliably. The quantity of fish caught improves by upgrading your trawling net. To make things more challenging, higher tiers of shoals are able to change their depth. That means you'll benefit farther from having a higher level trawling net, so you can reach farther down into the depths of the sea. Occasionally, instead of standard single fish shoal, players might encounter rare mixed shoals when a shoal respawns. These shoals allow players to catch a variety of fish, some of which they may not normally have the level for, but at a reduced catch rate. These rare fish will be tracked on the collection log. Estimated rates are still being finalized, but the goal is roughly 10 hours of dedicated trawling to catch a rare variant of specific fish. I like this, actually. I played a game on the Nintendo Switch recently where you had to it was like some Wii Sports type game, but there was a fishing one in it. You had to log the fish. Kind of reminds me of that in a way. And I like that they're all going to be on the collection log. Cool. Wonder how maybe the specific fish is super rare and you can hang it in the house or even hang it on your boat or something. I like it. Okay, so I guess it's our time to do the survey and vote and leave our feedback. So very, very big thing today. I didn't even read everything because there is just too much content here, but lots of stuff that they are adding with sailing, and this is literally just the beginning. I'm so excited for this skill. It is insane. We're gonna get so much new content added into the game, and I've just been so excited to train a new skill for a very long time now. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you guys are excited for sailing, and if you did watch the whole video today, comment sailing. This is one of those things. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you in the next video, hopefully tomorrow with an actual update. See ya later.